Ciao.
Work out?
Great cheese comes from happy cows. Happy cows come from
Cat Farm. The stakes have never been higher. That's a joke from my friend Henry Santoro. Hi, everybody. Welcome into, I don't know, in a few minutes, I guess. It's going to be a short episode because there's no episode. It's really funny. So I spent time doing In a Few Minutes as a YouTube show. I guess it was like 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. I'm not sure because I took time off in the middle and then came back with the Disney things. It was neat doing the YouTube thing. I think I talked about this with Rob Walsh last week. It was neat doing the YouTube thing. No, it wasn't. It was neat having the YouTube thing up and running, but doing the YouTube thing was not so neat. And yet, I'm thinking about doing something else there. Won't be in a few minutes. Wait a minute. Golly, I'm just like all over the place right now. I'm very excited to have In a Few Minutes be back to being an audio podcast. I'm so excited to have In a Few Minutes back to being an audio podcast that I totally messed up this week's In a Few Minutes. We have no guest for today. We're probably going to have no guest for tomorrow. In fact, there's probably not even going to be an episode of this show tomorrow because there seems like very little point. The plan is, and the plan all week was, I'm going to get somebody on for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to talk about whatever Apple announces at Tuesday's Time Flies event. Different people, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to talk about the different things. Maybe I could do a late edition on Tuesday, so have somebody on to talk about it then as well. Or maybe I'll just come on and talk about it, except that feels weird because I'll be doing macOS Ken as well. See, you right now get to be my sounding board for what's going to happen with this show this week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I know what's going to happen. I do not know with whom, but I don't imagine it's going to be difficult to get Apple people to talk about, stuff that Apple announces at an Apple event. We'll see, who's available. And that'll be fun. Also kind of depends on what they announce. Like I know some of the people that I talk to are not big fans of Apple Watch, not even big users of Apple Watch, so there'd be little point in calling them. We'll find out what they say Tuesday, and then I'll make my plans accordingly. How's that? There will be guests. It will be fun. There's that part. Now, the YouTube thing. I'm thinking about going live on YouTube. Don't know why exactly, except I talked to my friend Chuck Joyner about YouTube and whether I should do video probably a week or two before I actually started doing In a Few Minutes as a video show. What he pointed out to me, and the reason that he does video, I've already spoiled the lead, but I'll tell you anyway. Do you know what the number 2 search engine on the planet is? You might think it's Bing. You might think it's Yahoo, Jeeves maybe. Is that still a thing? It's YouTube. Google is the number 1 search engine. YouTube is the second search engine. And Chuck said that his feeling when he started doing video was, it's just silly to not be there. I don't know if it's silly for me to not be there, but I do know there is something I like about the live thing. It's editing video that kills me because it takes forever. Editing audio, maybe it's not that editing video takes forever. Maybe it's just I can't stand looking at my face that long. I don't know. Anyway, editing audio is a joy. Editing audio is just, it's my happy place, which is good because I do a heck of a lot of it. Editing video is not nearly as much fun. However, if I were to go live, say in the afternoons, talking about whatever Apple news either happened the day before or, hey, here's the story we're following for tomorrow's macOS Ken. I'm sort of playing with that idea. So don't be surprised if sometime this week or maybe next week, a notification pops up saying, hey, Ken Ray is live on YouTube. Check it out. And then hopefully you'll check it out because, if you don't, that's fine too, because it'll live there forever. You can go back and watch it later. Right. So that's most of what I got for today. Although it occurs to me, this is a very, very, very short episode. And I do have a wheel of stuff sitting right here with me. So I think I'm going to spin the wheel once and try to answer the question. Shall we? Some other time. Interesting. This is one that I put on for other people to answer, because I put all these on for other people to answer, and now I don't really know what my answer would be. The idea of some other time, of course, is you're not born today, or you're not alive today, you're alive in some other time. When do you want that time to be? 20 years ago, I would have said 30 years in the future, but here we are 20 years in the future, and that's no great shakes. So, I mean, it's it's good. It's better than 100 years ago, probably. It's not as cool as we thought it would be, though. No jetpacks. Well, I mean, the occasional jetpack, I suppose. Theoretical flying cars, but we don't all have them. Barely got our heads around electric cars. I like the idea of revolutionary, like the revolutionary period in the U.S. I wouldn't have been one of the people that anybody paid any attention to. That wouldn't have been me, I don't think. Although, I don't know, maybe I could string together a couple of lines. I'm no Alexander Hamilton. I'm no Thomas Jefferson. I'm no George Washington. Still, it might have been an interesting time to be around. A time in the U.S. when there were, ideas about what we could be, what we could do. Ideas that we could change things for the better. You weren't scoffed at for that. You weren't laughed at that. You weren't told to, shut up. So that might be a fun one. I do like the idea, though, of Italy during the Renaissance. I remember reading one time in one of my art history classes years ago about fountains. And why there are so many fountains in Italy. It's because it was the first time they could really use anything kinetic. It was the first time they could play with how light moved and how color moved, right? I mean, think about it. You've got that. I guess you could use like windmills or something like that, except you have to have a way to reliably manufacture wind, which sounds like I'm making a joke that would make a 12-year-old laugh. Think about it, though. Like video and film, we can reliably play with light and movement, right? Before that, how could we reliably do that? And so anyway, there are two answers. I should have only given one. There are two answers. Apparently, I like times of change, is what we're learning. I should continue a conversation, to end the show, because that's how this show ends, except, it's just me by myself. So I could start the joke that I began with earlier. I heard about something that happened on a cattle farm. A cow wandered over to the pot farm next door.